I'm fine with it.
All right. Hey, welcome to this week's Chilling Chat. I'm Cynthia Varkevisser, and I'm super excited because we're going to talk about intuition in the workplace. And I'm here to offer suggestions and stuff, but I'm really more interested about what you do, how you use your intuition, and then if you have a challenge with something that's going on intuitively and in your workplace, I'm happy to jump on in. So I want you to all know that we are also at a place where we are, everybody's working super hard and they're having a hard time feeling their energy. So what that means is we are all energetic beings, but we're not in alignment with our energy. So we either are running ahead of our energy or just misaligned with our energetic values, which is making us tired, cranky, crabby, misunderstood, frustrated, and maybe great. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm here to talk about that if you want to, but it's about catching the wave as well. So what I'd love to do is I'd love to hear about what you do, what's been going on, because we are a community, and I want to make sure that everyone knows that we are freaking abundant in resources. Does that make sense? So anybody want to share? Because if not, I'm going to pull you up on stage. Yeah, go Scout.
Okay. Excuse me. I had my second vaccine, as you may have heard, so I'm a little like bleh, out of it. But maybe it's some of that other stuff you're talking about too. But I do use my intuition mostly to connect to the dog. So I take care of dogs for a living, walk, train, board, and I'm learning to communicate with them, or I do communicate with them. And so when I take in a new dog, I usually connect with them intuitively and make an agreement with them. Basically, you mind your manners, you stay with me, you eat, you are obedient, I will take care of all your needs, and I will get you back to your people. And knock on wood, it's gone really well for me for years in. And yeah, now I'm starting to talk with them and find out what's going on with them, and providing their people are okay with that, I share that information with them. And yeah, it's a really interesting journey. And using your intuitive class, I'm trying to connect with the owners, because that's always been my sticky point. Yeah, I struggle with training people, not their dogs, but people. And so I find my struggle currently is maybe just what you're talking about. Like a client invited me over for lunch. We hit it off, had a lot of interests, and I found myself sort of anxious in her presence. And I was like, just trying to like take it down. And I was just like bullet pointing information at her like light speed. And it wasn't that it wasn't well received. It's just, I wasn't getting the interaction I had hoped for. So she basically did the same back for me. And I was like, I gotta go. Yeah, it's just not that heightened connection, that I know we could get to. I'm sure of it. We're very like-minded individuals. But for various reasons, that was my interaction with her day before yesterday. So
yeah, but it could be anything, right? Without really getting into it. But having said that, isn't that crazy about doing intuitive edge and then knowing that there is an opportunity to really take it to another level?
Connect, and she extended her hospitality and said, would you like to come over and let's talk about animal communication, and I'll make lunch. And like, what a lovely thing to do. And I walk her dog. Yeah. And I just couldn't quite, and I talked to her about your class and was like, I used that opportunity to try to ground myself. And I did, but it was just, it was a glimpse, and I could feel her, you know, heart, solar plexus. Yeah, but I just sort of lost it. And so, yeah, I'm going to try again.
Yeah, I was gonna
Keep
say.
trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't hate you. You guys don't
Oh,
hate
no,
each
no.
other,
No,
right?
I'm
So
going to
it's
invite her.
perfect.
Yeah. I'm going to
You're
invite her over.
Yeah, you're actually on a really good, solid platform. So I think it's fantastic. What a way to do it, because you wouldn't be that person before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Who else wants to share about what amazing work they do? Because I made sure to invite you certain people, because you do amazing work and you don't talk about it, which doesn't piss me off because I know what that's like. But at the same time, look, there's only what, 10 of us? There's only 10 of us. So we're in a really safe place to share.
You want me to share where I can still talk?
Yeah, go Karen.
So I've been to the dentist. So anyway, I've had the energy work that I'm getting certified in is called body code and emotion code. And the thing is we all come from these tumultuous childhoods, blah, 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 like that. And it is really hard to navigate as an adult with these child wounds. And I've always been very intuitive, but I couldn't really, it's a kind of anyway. So in my healing process, I've done, I got 32 years of sobriety. I've done therapy, every kind of 12 step, but I got to a point where I couldn't get to the visceral responses of terror. In situations when I'm learning something new, like I had an art class, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable. But I was in a place that brought up most of all of my childhood stuff. Anytime somebody wants to know, I'll let them know. But what it brought to me, what was really apparent was what was so very difficult for me to navigate in this place, being very intuitive and having a visceral response to things and not being able to get to where it was at. So when the work I do is, and I've had it done on me. And so at different times in your life, you have events happen and everybody's like this big, giant, radar thing, and it comes in and it stores on the body. So what as a practitioner, when, it's like when you have, like for me, I have an incident, like my dad took us out to kill us. So there was a whole bunch of things that went on. And at 4 years old, you really don't have the ability to figure out despair, all this kind of stuff. You couldn't make sense of it. So the situation, the emotional boom, like that gets stored on the body. And then you start, and thing after thing like that happens in our lives. And then you can't reach them because it's kind of like somebody's behind the kidney, despair's behind the kidney, screaming over to abandonment, which is hiding behind the left knee. And so all these things get stored. So this practitioner worked with me, and we were able to go in and spotlight that and release it through intuition, using muscle testing, intuition, and so I have had some amazing results myself with that work. And because of like all of us have our life experiences that make it so our flashlight can see what somebody needs to release in their subconscious. And so it's been really amazing work that I've had done on me. And what I'm training to do is do that for other people. And so I get to apply my life experience, the healing, and the intuition, which Cindy is so good at teaching everyone, and then and being able to navigate that, and watch and release. I'm still practicing, but from my own experience, it was absolutely freeing. And I know what I really want in my life, is to be free from the past, not afraid of the future, and free to be who I am. And I'm reclaiming that through doing the work that's being done on me, and I'm training to do it myself. So I don't have a workplace because I'm retired. I used to use intuition as an accountant. That I would use that a lot. But anyway, so that's what's going on with me.
Can I go ahead and interject here really quick?
Yeah.
So Karen's actually in the midst of her certification, right? For this body code work. Yeah.
Mhm,
And you've
yep.
already done the emotional code.
Yeah, emotion code I'm certified in, yeah.
So I offered to, I actually asked her if I could be a guinea pig, and I talked to her about weight loss. And I don't know exactly what she did, because that's part of the practice, is for Karen to understand how to say very, very succinctly what she does. But here's what I will tell you. I asked her for weight loss. I have no idea what she did, because it's passive, meaning that she texted me and said, okay, I'm going to work on you. And I'm like, yeah, whatevs. And then she says, drink lots of water. And I'm like, okay, I'm thirsty. And I dropped 5 pounds. So I didn't do anything different. And I want to eat sugar, and it's actually a struggle with myself. I still win, which tells me that I need to go back to Karen. I still win, but it's not like I'm craving the sugar. I'm like, no, I want to have the sugar because I'm not ready to release that habit, which is completely different than going, I need sugar, right? So I don't have that thing going on. So saying that, I am still a guinea pig, and I would recommend that if you want to check out something different,
I'll work on your guinea pig if you want to be a
Yeah.
guinea pig.
Yeah, why not? And
Why not?
that's what it's all about. Yeah. So
Huh.
yeah, thanks, Karen.
No,
And
right,
actually,
thanks.
I'm gonna out you in a certain way. So I told Karen, I said, hey, it was because of Karen. I said, I think I want to do intuition and your work. And so I told her, and then she's like, and happened to have the emergency dental thing happen just this morning. So, yep. So the universe was working with her in that way too.
Yeah, I had a piece of metal which got in the way of channeling the energy. It was one of those implants. So I went in and took it out. My whole body went, and
Which is, a crazy thing itself.
it was crazy, but the dentist responded to me, and there was nothing wrong with it. It was perfect. It's just my body didn't want it in there. Out it went. So anyway, thanks.
Yeah, of course. So Karen, put your information in there if anybody wants to be a guinea pig.
Oh, all right.
Get a hold of you. See?
All right, great.
Squeak, squeak.
Ta-da.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
There you go. Okay, who else? Who wants to talk about their work and how they work their intuition in it? Come on, shine bright. You guys are amazing. Otherwise,
I'll go next.
Thank you. Go ahead, Fluffy.
Okay, I'm Fluffy. My real name's Jason. I'm a tarot reader, meditation guide. When I work with someone, I look at what they're connected to energetically and where they are in the Akashic records. And I look at different timelines, different probabilities, and I look at what they want to be doing in their life. And I help readjust their trajectory so that they flow into a better pattern, and the events that they need to encounter in their life that help them soar higher, I bring them closer to them. And this is simply through asking very particular questions, making them laugh, and quite literally adjusting minute things about quantum physics that I really have no idea how to express. But all of a sudden, the spiral that they're going in to move forward becomes tighter and tighter, and it just becomes more effortless. The contrast that causes them to want to evolve, that becomes more fine-tuned to affect them so that they could actually fight up against it. But it's not more than they could handle, and there's less collateral damage to the people around them. So it's more fine-tuned.
I like that. I like that a lot. And there's one thing is that Fluffy knows stuff. So if you need any kind of questions about anything, he knows stuff. It's just kind of crazy. He said he came up with some facts. I'm like, how the hell? What? Why? And but it's fascinating, and I'm fascinated. So yeah. So Fluff, are you practicing now, or are you still in recovery?
I'm trying to practice. Right now, my body is like saying "fuck you." I'm gonna sit here and heal, and my neuropathy is beginning to fade away in my feet.
Great.
So, so that means I can actually feel it. I'm beginning to feel how abused they are,
Yeah.
and I think part of that is the CBD oil I've been rubbing on them,
Uh-huh.
and so then I'm not getting enough sleep,
Right.
and it just hurts all night long. And I'd like to figure out what the emotional component is because
Yeah.
I know that's going on too.
Yeah, we could talk about that. I mean, we could talk about it either offline or at another chill and chat. I don't know. There, there's a woman named Danielle who sells CBD products. She did. I wish she was going to make it, but she couldn't make it today. So I don't know if you like your CBD product. Great. If not, I'm happy to connect you with her.
Yeah. The stuff I was given was from a friend. She put together her own dispensary,
Yeah.
and
Oh, then you're
so
all good.
I got about $800 worth of product.
Then you're real good. Don't sell it.
Yeah, yeah, and but for my practicing, I'm still doing it. It's just I'm on state disability,
Mhm.
so the money is still flowing in regardless of what I'm doing.
Yep. And that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
it's all win. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So here's what I want to, if there's any way that we can support Fluff, right? Shout it out to him. It would be kind of awesome. Because that's what community does. Only if you feel called, because if you're doing it out of duty, then there's going to be resentment, right?
Mhm.
And that's the one thing is I'm working on is less expectations, more experiences. And so I welcome that and invite you for that as well. All right. Who else wants to talk about their work and intuition?
I'll talk about my intuition. I'm not working right now, but this is an interesting thing I'll put out to the group. So I was taking care of my mom when she was on hospice, and 2 weeks before she passed away, a whole lot of ghosts came, and they really haven't left. And then I'm told there's a portal in my house where these ghosts come and go, and they come all the time, especially at night. But I get so I had a friend I hadn't seen in about a year, and I call them angels. So I'm going to go from ghosts to angels because they look very beautiful. Told me that she was in trouble. So I called the police and did a welfare check, and she had been laying on her floor for 2 days. So I don't know. My thing is, what do I do with these ghosts who visit me? I mean, I'm happy they're here. Sometimes we have a big party, and I know I sound insane, and sometimes I think I am going crazy, but it's weird. I get messages. I don't know what to do with them.
I actually think you're in the right place, talking to the right people, because first of all, no one here thinks that you're crazy, right? I think everybody's pretty excited that you have a portal in your house.
I'm super excited about that.
See, so
I'll just say my mom.
Where does she live?
My mom, 2 weeks before she passed away, she pointed to this place in our house and said, "There's a portal. I'm going to be going through it." And then I've talked to a medium or two because I thought, oh, geez, what's going on? But everyone tells me over Zoom that there's a portal in my house. I guess there is.
Yeah. So you're in the right place, and I'm really glad that you're connecting, because I believe from these connections, you're going to slip right into the next thing. It doesn't have to be hard. Right?
Okay.
And that's pretty much what I wish for you.
And they're not scary.
And that's what I love. So that you can actually start telling that to people who are afraid. Right? And they won't think that you're crazy either. So I'm excited for you in your next phase. Super excited. So yeah, there's that. All right. Who else wants to share? Don't make me call you out, party people, because this isn't class, but I will do it. All right.
Okay. It's Anne Marie.
I love you, Anne Marie. Way to go.
So I'm a reverse mortgage specialist. And I would say that I just use my intuition just to try when I'm starting to feel like, oh, I don't have enough business coming in, I just get myself more centered, more grounded. And for whatever reason, I just kind of put it out to the universe, and I end up with calls. So I don't know if that's really called intuition, but it's a way I get business.
Do you want to lead? Do you want to lead a group on intending? It sounds like you're pretty damn good at it.
I thank you. I don't really do much. I mean, I really just put out the intention and then I chill out. That's the one thing I do. I have to relax, right? Instead of being anxiety ridden over it. So I don't know.
No, actually, it's a really big deal because a lot of people here, we're doing, I'm going to talk about it, which is, hey, join the book club that we're going to create. It's based on money. It's Tosha Silver's It's Not Your Money, right? So you know that everybody here is listening with an interest because they don't have, there goes Fluff with the book, because they don't have the healthiest relationship with money. So the fact that you can call it in and just accept it is a place where some people aren't, right? They have a hard time accepting it, or they have a hard time believing that it works or that they're worthy of it. So it's actually a big deal. Anne Marie.
I used to be there, and you know that. I used to be there. I used to be in that spot. So
yeah. So sounds like you could actually lead it. And I'm happy to help you break it down, and it would be a lot of fun.
Okay. That sounds great.
I would love that. That sounds like really great. So yeah,
right.
intending is a really crazy cool thing. And everybody intends a little bit differently because 1 in 68 trillion party people, 1 in 68 trillion. But if you tell us how you do it, then it might help people find the path of how they do it.
Okay.
Right. It actually,
later.
Yeah. Whenever you want. Okay.
Want. All right. Well, we can talk about that then.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Anne Marie is probably one of the most compassionate people I know. She's a bit feisty, so she'll like go terrier on people. You're right. Super loyal. She gets a little lockjaw. So I like having terriers in my life. And yeah. So yeah, think about Anne Marie about lots of stuff. But intending is a kind of an awesome thing, Anne Marie.
Thank you. Thank you. And this is great, but I do have to jump off. So I'm going to jump off. I'll watch the rest of the recording later.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks for stopping by. See you later. Yep.
Sayonara.
Anne Marie was, okay, so now that she's gone, I'm going to talk about her. Okay. So when I first met, and it's okay because we've talked about this before. So when I first met Anne Marie, it was just a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And she was totally stressed out. There was a lot of stuff going on. At that time, I was doing this thing called Spiritual Day Spa, which is fab. And I'm going to bring it back. And what you do is that it's a healing from the inside out. So you come on in, you get a reading with me. So all the stuff comes out. Then you get energy work so that we can go ahead and knock out some of that stuff that no longer matches your energy field. And then you get body work. And the body work is squeezing out what's left, the stuff that you're holding on to, so that you come out totally gooey. So I met Anne Marie and she's like, I don't know what happened. I'm crying. I'm tired. I have headache. And I cracked up and I thought, oh my God, she's going to hate me. And we still, we talk every once in a while. Then I had this 3-day retreat called Unleash Your Inner Badass. And she joined me. And it's Friday night, we just started. And just so you know, we always kick off with a glass of champagne. If you don't drink, then we do sparkling cider, right? So because what you're doing is that you're celebrating that you're on your way to go to the other side. So we had our champagne. We're not even an hour into it, and it's quiet and I got music going. She goes, I'm fucking pissed off. I'm tired of writing this. I'm tired of seeing this. I'm tired of hearing this. And she was just so angry. And I'm like, I promise you on the other side. I promise you on the other side. I promise you. Saturday comes along. Next thing you know, she's leading the group very calmly, doing so. Let's do this. And everybody just kind of followed her and they had a great time. Then she'd say, let's do this. And then, you know, everybody followed her and on the other side. And now this is the person that I have who is really confident. She's no longer angry. She's still super loyal, but she knows that her energy is in a different place. Amazing, amazing person. And total badass. Total badass. Yeah. So I love talking to her because she just cracks me up. I always think about that. I am pissed off.
That's a good way to move stuff out. You got to have that, right?
Yeah, it was one of those things. I think, you know, I think my exercises pretty much center over the edge, which is pretty much what you need to do, right? Because then you get to spill over into something new. That's the cool thing.
Yeah. Sometimes that's a stick of dynamite up your ass. Sometimes it's
Pretty much. And because I am a shit disturber by trade, it's
Yay.
perfect for doing transition work, right? Shifting work. It's great. All right. Who else wants to talk about their work and intuition?
I have a comment on it. I have a comment on intuition, which it just came to me. You know, I lived with Scout for about 12 years, and she would say to me over the course of time, my God, your intuition. If you would just listen to your intuition. And she kept calling me out on my intuition. And then after the fact, it'd be like, oh, there it is. And she's like, see, your intuition. Well, I'm here to tell you she's far superseded me in her intuition now because she can actually talk to animals. So, right? So I'm just saying, when you see it in somebody else, it just might be in you.
Yep. She's Dr. Dulat's. She's not Dr. Doolittle. She's Dr. Dulat's.
Well, you know, because of her, I consciously used my intuition because I lost my keys in the park. And long story short, my power animal was on my keys, but I don't have a relationship with them because her intuition's stronger. So I said, Mo, contact your power animal to talk to my power animal to tell me where he is. And I'll tell you, I found my keys. Just saying. So yeah. I need to sharpen mine, and it's a little bit of a race, Mo, and whose intuition is going to get sharper.
On your marks. Get set.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and it's the thing about intuition is because it's based on trust and faith. There's no like steady trajectory. If you fall into it, right, and then you kind of sit in it, and then you fall into it. So it's never like this, you know, like a corporate ladder thing where first you started level 1, then level 2, then level 3. So I always crack up when we talk about, you know, taking these spiritual classes and there's level 1, level 2, level 3, because sometimes you can just pop into it and it's totally your vein and you are like, give me more. And we're like, well, you got to take level 2 first in order to really get to the place where you know, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's about, you know, meet you where you're at. Your 100% is always different every day. So we take you at your best and then we kind of like kick you into the next one, to the next phase, right? It's a loving kick. Ask Spencer. I give loving kicks. All right, who else wants to talk about their stuff? You guys do all amazing work. Thank you, Frida. Holy cow. You know, I was going to Anne-Marie's the one that saved you because I was going to call you out when Anne-Marie said, okay. Just saying.
Hi guys, I'm Frida. I'm a visual artist, and how I use my intuition with work, what I've honestly at this point found is like I can feel when things are in alignment, and so when work comes to me, like I'll get clients when I feel good, when I'm laughing, when I'm enjoying myself, then they come to me. Like when I take care of myself and am balanced, like that work finds its way to me and people that I will, resonate well with. So in the past, I used to push against it and sort of like have anxiety around finding people and the people that would come in, or it was sticky. So the happier I am, or the more aligned I am with myself, the more work comes in that is correct for me to have.
Yeah, that works. That totally works. It makes sense. But I'm going to go ahead and if you saw the Open Studios
Yeah.
post that was in there, it was, so this is where I call like energy, the law of attraction, right? So Frida was at a place, she's like, I don't know what to do with this thing. I don't know what my next step is. And then pretty much this thing came across, and it was the Open Studios, and it was actually perfect. I think it was perfect for her. I don't know if it was perfect, and it's coming up, right? It's coming up starting tomorrow, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and like, but then me being in alignment brought that to me, like, because I was ready for it or open to it. So I think that like all of those things sort of, because when it comes in flow. Like I'm not pushing against anything, and it was really easy to set up. And the human involved in making it, Trish Turney, is like amazing. And so like when I don't know what's going on, she would help me. So there was like a flow to it as opposed to like that pushing against thing.
Yeah. So just so you know, Trish Turney is amazing. And their trajectory and where they are right now, the story is kind of incredible. It's pretty similar to a lot of people who are now in the arts community, is that they started off with Karen, if you take a look, it's a virtual Open Studios. There are certain people who will be doing live in-person Open Studios as well. And that's at 1890 Bryant, I think, in San Francisco, but it's all virtual. So you can get online and take a look, and some artists are actually going to get online where you can meet them and talk about their art and all that other cool stuff. And Frida's pretty, I love Frida's stuff because everything is light and everything, and then there's some edge to it. You just got to look. And not even look hard. It's just that at first peek, it's like, oh my God, that's so cute. And then you're like, oh, right. So totally love it. Totally love that work. And Scout and Frida, you two have already connected, right?
No, actually, I
What the F?
No, I'll listen, I'll put it together.
Yeah, with the Fruit Loops, right? So, because Scout, I showed you Frida the animal portrait she did for me.
Nope.
Okay, first of all, Scout does more than just dogs. Scout does all animals. Scout doesn't discriminate. So, okay, so Frida was doing for the holidays. She was doing animal portraits, right?
Oh,
yeah. And I have a certain friend who loves her dog, and she also loves superheroes. And so we had Frida do them, to do a combo. So so that her dog Leo, my friend Angela's dog Leo, is in Captain America suit.
that's awesome.
Awesome. It was a great pick, and great pop art. There.
Oh, and he's a Frenchie.
Yes.
Oh, he's so cute.
Tell me that isn't awesome.
Need one of Kai in Hawaiian
Batman.
shirt swimming. Oh, I was like a Hawaiian shirt and swimming trunks.
Okay, that too.
See? I think that would be awesome. And it's fun. Fancy, you know Angela Friday, right? She's a pookier up in Portland. So yeah. So yeah, you two connect, because there could be some fun stuff going on right there.
Love that.
I think
Yes,
that's the most important part, is that it's super fun, right?
totally.
Yeah. Who else wants to talk about their work? And go, Debbie Campbell.
Okay. Hi, I'm Debbie Campbell. I'm down in Pacific Grove now by Monterey, and I do a lot of shit. So I have a full-time job. I just became an international best-selling author by participating in an anthology book. So I've just kind of gotten
Wow.
back into writing, which is
Congrats.
so fun. And I'm trying to make time for it because I have all these projects, passion projects, other things. I'm just all over the place. But I started with my business is Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski, which is a jewelry home-based business, a division of Swarovski Crystal. And that's just a lot of fun because I get to connect, meet new people, and share the bling. In fact, my t-shirt says I'll bring the bling. So those are things I love to do, is my business and meeting women, usually mostly women, not discriminating, but generally. And and then the writing, just opportunities just came over last year. My intuition is usually really strong, but I kind of temper it, I guess, because I'm super empathetic. And I think sometimes I don't listen to my intuition, but it's like blocked probably by fear of being, I don't even know if it's intuition, but just understanding people and things like that. So I'm trying to figure out ways I can help people more. And, I'm not in a direct helping people business or whatever I'm doing, right? But I always try to help people in whatever way comes up. But I feel like I should listen to myself more because, my intuition is really strong with just people, especially sensing of things. The empathy gets in the way because it makes me feel too much sometimes. I have a hard time with that because it's draining to me, and it's a strain sometimes, feeling other people's feelings, right? It's a lot. So I'm trying to figure out, and when we were talking earlier, I think there's some things I want to write about from like childhood things, but I don't know if it's writing a story or just, how I'm going to put that out there. And also finding ways to teach people some things because I love teaching. See, I'm all over the place talking, but this is where I'm at right now in my life. I'm like all over the place. So just, I think being intuitive is good, but listening to it, right? Because like I said, I block it sometimes or don't believe myself probably. Even when I should know better or I shouldn't know that I'm right or making right decisions. But I guess the times that we make quote unquote mistakes aren't really because we learn from them. But then I think oh, why did I do that if my intuition told me not to, or vice versa? Why didn't I do that?
Hang
so
on.
It's in my head too much.
Yeah, I was just going to say, raise your hand if you understand where Debbie's coming from, because that's happened to you too. Bam. Right?
Thank you.
So I would say that you're at pretty much 100%. Everybody knows what you're talking about. How many of you have gotten drained because you want to block something? Right? Bam. So you're there. You're with the right people and talking. And here's the
that
thing.
makes my heart feel good because I felt very alone lately of not feeling with the right people or who to talk to, or no one's going to understand, right? And I know that's not true, but this is what's been playing for me. Like I said, it's been a rough week, so it's just no one's going to get it because so thank you. I'm glad I'm glad I'm here today.
I'm glad you're here too, and it's really important. What's up, Spency Poo?
I just sort of feel compelled to say something, I guess, because it sort of has to do with what I heard Fluffy advise me to do, which was wear a bright piece of red jewelry around my neck. And I think you said that you aren't able to use your intuition for jewelry, right? But I think you sell jewelry, right? I heard that right?
Yeah, that's my business.
Okay, so I think that you might be able to use your intuition to find the type of jewelry that people need. Like Fluffy's recommendation for me was something bright and pink, I think he said, to wear around my throat to try to get my, I guess, intuition into alignment. And so that might be an angle that you could use bring your intuition into your jewelry business.
Yeah, now that you said that, I think I do that, right? In helping people find something or so that's interesting. I didn't think of it quite in that way because a lot of times I discount what I do because it's not earth shattering, I'm not, changing the world, so to speak. But I have found some value in just helping people just feel better and just connecting with other people. So that's good insight. Thank you. I just need to give myself more credit sometimes.
Yeah, go for it. We don't have to raise hands. It's conversation.
I'm just gonna throw out there too, like, so I'm gonna plug Cynthia's classes, but like in the intuitive edge class, like when one of the first things that we started doing is like finding out, oh, it's not my body. So it's like learning how to recognize, Cynthia's really good at teaching, like, okay, this is my energy. I'm grounded in myself. Here I am. Let me feel what I feel like. Where are my aches and pains? What's that all about? And then going into somebody else's energy and recognizing like the difference and the shift and just like practicing that. So like I don't know how long I've been with Cynthia, like hardcore on this, probably for like maybe like a year or a little bit more, but like practicing that, like I used to have the problems that you're talking about not quite knowing what's mine, what's somebody else's, and now I do not have that problem. I'm grounded in myself, like I know where I'm at. And then when you feel something else, it's like, is that mine? Oh no, that's not. I don't have to take that on. That can flow through me, or it could help me help somebody else or know where they're coming from. So that's something like we learned in the intuitive edge class, and it was really helpful.
Yeah, I like to call what Frida just said, what flows through me. I like to call out the ole, right? It's like, oh, is that something I need to deal with? No, ole, right? Ole. That's it.
I'm glad Frida said that, because speaking of speaking out, Cynthia, we've met a couple times. You know, we never met in person. More recently we've connected, right? But I actually haven't heard a lot about what you do. I mean, I know what you do in the readings. We did some of that, but I mean, some of your offerings and things. So you need to be telling me some of that stuff.
God dang, I hate this place. You're absolutely right, Debbie. You're absolutely right. Which is probably part of the reason why I asked for this gathering, you know, because I wanted to celebrate everybody else. On Fridays, what usually happens is we talk about stuff, and I feel like I'm the one that's up front and directing, and you're all so amazing. I want you all to understand just what kind of community you're in, right? It's pretty damn awesome. And it's funny because I was going to call on Santana, and she just left, but Santana's got some really cool stuff going on too, right? Exactly. So while we're waiting for San, anybody else want to talk about their work and their intuition?
Yeah, I will.
Go for it.
Well, I'm just curious. I did a read on your cat, and I rarely get feedback. And so I'm curious if that read was good and how he's doing, and, you know, if it was impactful at all.
Yeah, we took him off his meds. So he's super skittish anyway. But the reason we were worried about his meds is that he would be gone for 1 to 2 days.
Right.
And so it's supposed to be every day. So we were afraid that we were damaging him more than helping him. So what you said is that he needs in and out privileges, which is annoying because he doesn't want to wear a collar, which, you know, so the in and out privileges has to be manual. Super, way happier. So we have a new routine. I feel like he's the boss. I mean, I feel like I'm like bottom bitch. So, right. And that the cats somewhere up there is, D in the cats up there. I know that they're 1 through 3, and then I'm like on the bottom. Right. And I'm like, fuck, but I get it. It's okay. That's something I got to work on personally. But the thing that's amazing is that we know where he is. We know that he's skittish. We're working within his anxiety. And I also have to remember that our pets are an extension of ourselves. So I know that I need to work on my anxiety, right? And to help him alleviate his. I mean, that's just not fair. And speaking of that, Scout, if you ever want to do that, that would be an amazing class.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm learning a new healing modality called tapping, or EFT.
EFT.
And it worked actually really well on San and my dog, Kai. He has a lot of anxiety also. And I did it remotely when I was down in the class down south a couple weeks ago, and it actually helped quite a bit. So I might offer to do that with him and you, or your
Yeah.
partner. Yeah. See if
And
that,
work it out. Because it,
Yeah.
it ain't my anxiety.
right? Exactly.
No,
Well, it may not. I mean,
he's not here, so.
it may not be either of your anxiety. It could be his. It is possible, like that. You know,
That's
they can
true.
be. They can be an extension, but they can also have their own stuff.
Sure, but you know, it kind of like like I have a kid who, I don't know if I should keep it on Facebook. I mean, on the recording, but is that she has anxieties, and that she's already anxious. So that, and every time I'm anxious, and she lives, you know, she doesn't live close by, she can still pick up on the anxiety. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing with my cat. I know that he's already a little anxious fella. I wanted to name him Hugo because he always went to his sister, Hugo first, right? I checked it out. And yeah, but I also know that with my anxiety, Dee's anxiety, that it just, you know, it's not, he doesn't have a safe place to just like.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a ton. It's a ton. But yeah, no, you did great work.
Thank you.
Great work. Yeah. So Sam, yeah, go ahead, Kathy.
May I ask Scout a question?
Go for it.
Hey, Scout. So with my ghosts, I have animal ghosts too.
Cool.
I
That's
mean, it's
amazing.
really bizarre because sometimes like I'll look on my bed and there's a cat sitting there, but both my cats are out in the living room. And so I have cats and dog ghosts. I know you guys must think I'm crazy, but maybe we could talk about it.
All right.
Definitely not
Go
crazy.
connect. You need to connect. That
Yeah,
sounds like amazing. Because
I would love
that takes animal communication to a whole different level.
Right? I would love to get into that.
Yeah, get
I'll
into
send my
that.
info.
Get into some of that. Yeah.
Very cool.
Who else wants to talk about their shit?
San.
Sam has to move her car. So when we're waiting again. Kim, I don't think we've heard from you. Spency, you're lucky because I saw Kim first.
Sorry, I was out the first part. I was trying to help my son with some homework, so I missed some of it. But I will look at the recording later to see what I missed.
No, we're welcome. First of all, welcome to Chill and Chat. Basically, we talk about whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a creative writing master's program, so I'm writing a lot, doing poetry and writing papers for class. And what I'm journaling a lot, so I often in my journaling I kind of write messages to my guides saying this is coming up, I'm going to need help with this, or what should I do about this. And I feel like it's just it starts a dialogue. And so when let's say it's 2 weeks out and I know I need to write something, write a paper or something 2 weeks before, I'll start leaving those messages in my journal. And then really the messages can come from lots of different places, from art, from something a message someone sends me. I have this old retired professor from UCLA who'll send me stuff. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I know that's a message from my guide. He has no clue, but from being in the garden, I feel like I get messages, and all of these images and ideas that come in, they're kind of like laying the groundwork for what I have to do for a paper or for a poem. And then I like to think of myself at that point, once those messages have come in and I'm ready to kind of put things together, that I'm just riding the river. I just lay back on my back, floating in the river, and that's my river of intuition. It's not about working for it.
Yeah.
It's just about receiving the messages and riding the river.
You're actually literally going with the flow, or being in the flow,
flow. Trying to be in flow. Yeah.
It sounds like you're doing it.
I have some tarot cards or oracle cards called the Divine Muses.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who made them they're just really fabulous. They're kind of Victorian style. And there are photographs of different poets and writers on them. And so I talk to them. And I definitely, definitely know that it's influencing my work. I know one of my guides is a poet who was pretty well known. And one of the classes I'm taking, we had to read one of his interviews. And in the discussion, the online discussion board for this particular interview that we read, there were other students who really connected with it and said that, oh yeah, I read him all the time. I'm like, okay, my guide has put me in a class with his other, mentees, basically.
Right.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
It feels good though, too, right?
It feels great. Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. Well, welcome. I'm really glad you're here. And like I said, we talk pretty much about anything, even remotely related to intuition. We're just here to bullshit, right? Have a good time and get to know each other. So, Spence.
Go
ahead, Kim.
Oh yeah, when Debbie was talking about pulling in other people's energy, and sometimes I have a couple of teens here at home, and they can have their moods and anxieties and all of that, and sometimes when it's just overwhelming for me, I kind of step back and I talk to their higher self. So I don't think of them as the them in their body, but someone above them, and that I can. It just helps me get a different perspective and be outside of their body, I guess, the energy that they have.
No, that's a really great way to do that. And I mean, there are so many different ways to shift energy. That's one of the things that I love to do. And we're doing a class on it. Santana does it. She doesn't even know she does it. So we're going to talk about, so that she can, what is the word? Almost scientize it so that she can break it out and then do it again. And then she can help people move energy when they feel stuck, which is kind of awesome. Right? So Spence, I'm going to make Santana talk. So you're off the hook. Lucky you. Santana, yeah.
You owe me, Spencer.
That's right. So here's the deal. I'm here to celebrate Santana as the Minister of Magic. All right. We don't get to hear about it very often. So what I'd like Santana to do is to talk about it, even if it's just for a minute, San.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say magic's been around me all my life. Didn't know it was called magic. And then when I was old enough to know about magic, it was the illusionary magic by magicians. In my older years now, I have come to find out as recently as 3 years ago that all the occurrences that have come to me in really inconspicuous and conspicuous ways is now known as magic in the metaphysical world. And a light worker who came into my house miraculously just within 20 minutes, I'd say 10, but I'm going to give it room, within 20 minutes, dubbed me the Minister of Magic. That title just went, whoo, but I didn't know what that meant. Do you know? But I loved it. She goes, you're my Minister of Magic, and we're going to do, and she just had this charismatic way about her. And I will tell you, I was like, yes, yes, like a child in front of candy. Yes, yes. I don't care what the flavor it is. It's candy. Yes. And I started working with her for a little bit. Then she started microdosing and going into higher and higher vibing. And then she tipped the scales, so she's not around. However, she's still here with us. She's just not in my realm. Okay. But the deal is I really embraced the Minister of Magic because of the energy I felt behind being dubbed that. So I started building around that and what was my magic and what was happening. And now I'm defining it as me trusting myself to say yes. And when I say yes to things, incredible things happen. And I told this story. It's my biggest story as of recent. And so what it is I got a 2011 Mini Cooper about 5 years ago for $300. That was all based on my intuition, based on my like non-scarcity, non-fear. I needed to make this happen because ideally I didn't have a job. I didn't have a lot of money, but I needed a new car to do lift driving. So I needed a 4-door, right? So I had to get rid of my sports car, but great. Honestly, my sports car was 14 years old. So it was turning into a paperweight. I decide I'm going to go get this 4-door car, but I don't like regular cars. So I'm like, what am I going to do? And how am I going to buy it? And blah, 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 blah. And I can tell you a story really quickly on how it happened was I just decided to afford $9,500 for this 2011 Mini Cooper about 5 years ago. I bit the bullet. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this, but I'm going to get the car. Next thing you know, the seller came back and said, I'm not selling it to you because the double window pane, the moonroof is broken, $2,000 to repair. I said, take off $2,000, I'll still buy it. So now I'm buying it for $7,500. Okay. So I said, sold. And the guy says, the auto broker says to me, well, what are you doing with your sports car, your paperweight? And I said, I got to get rid of it. And he says, I'll give you $3,500 for it. I said, done. Now I'm paying $4,000 for my 2011 Mini Cooper. Okay. I'm happy. That is like everything, right? Within a month, somehow miraculously, and this is where the magic comes in when you keep saying yes, I got a check from the dealership for $3,700 randomly. Okay. I was living with a cop at the time who was my roommate, so I don't want to do anything wrong. So I turned to her and I told her the story, and she's like, Santana, you need to give that stuff back. And I said, absolutely. But here's my deal. I'm going to keep it for a year. If they ask it from me back, I give it to them. If they close their books, that puppy's mine. She said, okay. I kept it. I got my Mini Cooper for $300 because I said yes and followed my intuition, whether I could afford it or not. This is where I came into the Minister of Magic. And now I'm creating a business called alchemisticliving.com. I'm the Minister of Magic in it. Check me out. Thank you. Who did an infomercial? Nobody. Hello, Cynthia. God damn it.
Way to finish up right at high noon. I love it. That is professionalism at its best.
In flow.
So listen, everybody, I'm so glad that you came, and I really, really would love for you all to consider each other as resources, to connect, because there's so many things. Debbie, I was thinking I would love to have you talk to someone who works with chakras, because not everybody likes working with stones, but Swarovski has brilliant colors. And so they're still working within the chakra system. So that you could do, and you're already doing it based on how you're watching people and see what color looks good on them. And that's my cat saying hello, ass end. That's typical her. That's how I know she's mine. Yeah, so please really, really work with go. Everybody, I hope you sent your information to Karen if you want to be a guinea pig for her work. Kathy, talk to Scout. Frida, talk with Scout. Everybody call Santana, because Santana is all about shifting stuff. Every time I need to shift up some shit in my work, I give Santana a call, just in case you're wondering. Kathy, I hope to see you all again. I'm going to let all y'all go. And thanks again. And I'll catch you in the next Chill and Chat, if not sooner. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.